The Week with Ben Ellis.
This is Switch.
It's The Week with me, Ben Ellis, here on Switch Radio. Now, unless you've been living in a cave or under a rock over the last week, you'll know what's been going on across the pond, the US presidential election. As we're speaking now, the votes are still being counted. It's very slow progress, but Joe Biden does appear to be heading towards the White House. Joining me to talk about this on the show right now is a freelance journalist from Tennessee, Jessica Quinlan, who actually studied in Birmingham. So there's the nice link there. Jessica, hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. You?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff, isn't it?
It's been a stressful situation. I feel like I've been glued to the TV, my computer, just hoping that everything kind of like comes to a close. But of course, with these absentee ballots, it's the longer process. But obviously, it needs to be done so that every vote is counted. So, yeah.
Have we seen the best and some would say the worst of America over the last few days?
Yeah, it's embarrassing in a way, honestly, because that's not who America is. That's not who America stands for. Every time, President Trump has gotten on television and has spoken, it's been repeated lies after lies, and it's just, yeah.
This is interesting, though, Jessica, and I'll just get your thought. We're both obviously from media backgrounds. I do a radio show. You're a freelance journalist. So the freedom of speech and the freedom of the press is obviously very important to us, and we like to get that sort of across. I mean, it's so significant, isn't it, when the President of the United States goes to the podium with the seal on the front of it, starts talking, and American news agencies have to feel they need to intervene and cut it out, saying we are not broadcasting what this man is saying. And I've never seen that happen before, not in the Western world anyway. And it really was significant.
That honestly was impressive to me, because I think every broadcast station did that. ABC, CNN, I mean, all of them, they all pulled away as soon as he started saying that, I'm winning in legal ballots, but I'm not it's just.
Yeah. I mentioned on the show. Yeah, I mentioned this on the show with one of my other guests, and this probably will be a 10-minute hammering of Donald Trump. But as I say, we're journalists, and it's been a very long 4 years, and it's when you've got the attention span, or the limited attention span that Donald Trump appears to have, if he looks on early in the night and sees that he's winning because the Republican votes came in on the day and they're counted automatically because they're electronic. For those who don't know, in America, you go into a booth, you press a button, or it's called a Chad, isn't it? And then it's almost counted automatically. So, but there's been a pandemic. More people than ever have voted by mail. All 50 states have their own process for this, so that has to be gone through thoroughly. But he can't seem to get it in his head that it's different from the mail ballots, and they shouldn't be counted. And it's what I found really troubling, Jessica, and I'll get your thoughts on this. Is I made the mistake watching the footage the other night, thinking, okay, I've got a group of people shouting, stop the count. And we've got another group of people saying, count the votes. I thought, for the sake of balance, because, as I say, we're media people, I thought, okay, it's the Trump people saying, stop the count, and it's the Biden people saying, make sure every vote's counted. But it's not. They were all Trump voters. There were Trump voters where he was ahead in one state saying, stop the count, and saying, count the votes in another state where he was behind. I mean, if that's not, and I choose my words very carefully, if that's not trying to steal an election, then I don't know what is, quite frankly.
Honestly, I 100% believe that President Trump, is contributing to the chaos, obviously, with the Trump supporters being out there. They're causing violence. They're finding ammunition in people's vehicles. There was even a bomb threat at one point. It's just, it was found out later on that that was not true, but it's just, he is instigating so much, and it's just, like I said before, it's just an embarrassment, because it's not what America stands for. And it's honestly, when Biden got on the stage and, you know, did his speech last night, it was almost like kind of refreshing, just because, you know, there was no lies. He was calm, you know, and that's, you know, that's what America stands for, not this chaos, erotic behavior, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's the point as well, isn't it, Jessica? That, okay, Mr. President, if you're going to make these allegations, please provide us with some evidence as to where this is happening, and we'll take it seriously.
Yeah,
if you're not going to do that, then no.
He has absolutely no evidence to stand on. And a lot of lawyers won't even take his case or even want him pushed forward with what his accusations are, because he has no evidence. So.
I sense the emotion in your voice, Jessica.
Yes, it's been it's been very stressful, but yeah.
Just from yourself, you're from Tennessee?
Yeah, I am.
Whereabouts in Tennessee? I don't know it, so you paint the picture where you're from.
From Cleveland, Tennessee, which is about 2 hours from Atlanta, Georgia, just to give you a really good idea of where I'm from.
Okay. So from where you're from is very much sort of Republican territory then, traditionally in the way it's voted. I'm obviously not talking about yourself there, but so to see, as I say, as we're talking now, just on the border, that a Democrat candidate could be taking Georgia for the first time since the days of Bill Clinton. I think that is significant, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's one thing that, you know, Biden pointed out last night. Like, yes, this is the first time in decades that the Democratic Party has taken over that state. So it's significant, and, you know, it shows that people need change. You know, in terms of the COVID, they want the coronavirus, you know, pandemic to get handled, and, you know, the White House has honestly admitted they don't want to control it. They're wanting to wait on the therapeutics, they're wanting to wait on the vaccines, and we can't count on that. We have to take other measures, and that's something that, you know, obviously President Trump is failing to do in a lot of areas. But anyways, yeah.
Well, so we get accused of fake news all the time, and it even happened in this country the other morning when Piers Morgan was talking to Nigel Farage about the president mentioned disinfectant and inhaling, maybe taking it in. Apparently that was fake news. He didn't do that, and he did.
He was joking.
Yeah, but we can roll off a list. It's going to go away by Easter. We can inject ourselves with this bleach, or it will be gone in a minute. A vaccine is literally around the corner. I've had this and I've recovered. I've had the best care in the world. You can't have it, obviously, and now I'm immune. And I just, is it not worrying, Jessica, that one person can say this and not feel any kind of sort of remorse or responsibility for what he says and what he does? Or is it more worrying that the best part of 70 million people have bought into it?
Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, I'm just. Is it not more troubling that one person can, yes, is in a position of power and he can start spewing out all kinds of conspiracy theories, which is what he does, or just say anything that he doesn't feel he needs to be held accountable for? Is it not? Is it not that? But is it not more that 70 million people still bought into that? Is that not worrying as well?
It is worrying. He is in a very powerful position. He has a strong leader followership or whatever, and the fact that he, you know, he's not taking responsibility of his actions, for one, is troubling. And then on top of it, you know, what he puts out there, especially like in Twitter and all that stuff, he's not understanding that people are going to believe him because they believe in everything that he says, and because he has that, you know, strong followership. And it's just, yeah, it's just hard to watch, honestly.
Yeah, I think we're in danger as well of irritating some of our own audience here. There are Trump supporters in this country as well. You read social media, you say, yeah, we wish we had a leader like Donald Trump and what have you. But I just felt it was significant watching the British coverage on election night, Jessica, that I've never seen before in any Western democracy, an election where a breakdown in the demographic of the vote is determined by whether or not the voters had a college education or not. And a lot of people say if you don't have a college education, you are more likely to vote for Donald Trump. And the only thing I can get from that is that you have to have a certain level of intelligence not to vote for Donald Trump. And I think that's the point that we're trying to make, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Education is key, obviously, but I don't want to say every person.
No, of course not. Of course not, and that's fine. But I've never seen that breakdown in a voting demographic before.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that he has such a strong followership, and so because of all of his accomplishments, but he's also had some other setbacks as well. But other people like to look at his accomplishments, and so that's highlighted more than anything. And so they're like, oh, he's gotten this far, so we should believe this guy. He's done all this amazing stuff, and he's now president. And there's a lot more beyond that, I think, Yeah. I think. And the bottom line is you need a leader. Mm-hmm. You need someone who's going to step up to the plate and lead.
Yeah, and the point as well is it's not just going to go. It's not just going to go away with Joe Biden either. There's a long road ahead of America to.
Oh yeah, it's if he more. Obviously he has a strengthly he will become president. Because of the strong lead. I know we're still. Biden has said. I'm not calling anything until all votes are counted, which is how it works, obviously. But, if and when he does get in office, it's to be expected. He's going to have a hard road. It's going to be hard, but, a lot of people who voted for him believe he can do it,
Okay,
so,
that's fine. So obviously we wanted to talk about it's the major story in the world this week. Generally on this show we talk about big stories from Birmingham from across the last 7 days, but it's been kind of dwarfed by what we've been seeing in America. So I thought we need to get somebody on who knows about this, but has a connection with the city of Birmingham. And I put it in my old Google machine, and it came up with the name Jessica Noel Quinlan, who became a freelance journalist.
Thanks.
And no, thank you very much, and I appreciate you responding to our request. So, yeah, you studied in Birmingham.
Yes, I did. I originally came over here because my husband got a job at JLR, and he's from Brazil. I'm from America. We have a story. But so we ended up here, and ended up going to Birmingham City University. Got a degree in multi-platform mobile journalism. Mm-hmm. And so now we've decided to make this our new home for right now anyways.
Yeah. So is your husband still at JLR?
Yeah, he is.
At Solihull?
He's
Is that Solihull or Castle?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Is that the Solihull branch or Castle Bromwich?
I think it's the Castle Bromwich. He moves around a lot. As of right now, though, he's working from home.
Of course, yeah.
Although he's had to go in at times, but yeah.
Yeah, the Castle Bromwich plant is literally just a 5-minute walk away from our studios, so it's something we know we know very well. So we really appreciate you coming on to the show and giving your opinions. And I've just enjoyed the fact that for the last 10 minutes I've had somebody that I can bash Donald Trump with, which is great, which we've waited for about 4 years. But Jessica, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
For more great videos from the week, make sure you subscribe to our channel. It's down here somewhere. And don't forget, you can catch us on the radio every Sunday between 12 and 2 on FM across Birmingham, 107.5, on mobile, on DAB and online. We're made for Birmingham, This is Switch Radio.